Game apps make up a sizable portion of the hundreds of thousands available in the Google Play Store. As a matter of fact, the game section is so widely used that it is the very first tab displayed upon opening the app. In this video, I will show you the top 5 trending games on Android 2022. But before we go ahead, make sure that you are subscribed to our channel. 5. The game Call of Duty. One must include at least one free-to-play first-person shooter in any collection of the best games that are currently available for Android in order for the collection to be considered complete. Because Fortnite can no longer be downloaded from the Play Store, it seemed only natural to feature Call of Duty as the game that should be highlighted in today's roundup. If you are in the mood for a throwback, there is a selection of classic maps available for you to play on. And the gameplay of the Battle Royale mode is identical to that of any other Battle Royale mode. 4. Among Us. The social deduction gameplay of Among Us is very comparable to that of the tabletop games Mafia and Werewolf. Although the game did not generate a great deal of excitement when it was first made available to the public, it started to gain traction when certain streamers began to receive views while they were playing it on their channels. It shouldn't come as a surprise that Among Us became so popular because it's entertaining to watch other people play social deduction games online, which is why its success shouldn't come as a surprise. If you are looking for a game that has multiple layers, in which players must cooperate and backstab one another to succeed, and in which drama between players is almost guaranteed to occur, then you might find it enjoyable to play Among Us. The fact that the game is both fun and free means that you have nothing to lose by giving it a shot, especially considering how simple it is to do so. 3. Castlevania: Symphony of the Night. This game, which is widely regarded as the most iconic game in the series, can now be played on smartphones running the Android operating system. To bring Dracula back to life, you will need to take control of Alucard, the vampire, and rid the castle of the demons that have made it their home. Only then will you be able to bring Dracula back to life. The player in Symphony of the Night's extensive role-playing game has access to a vast array of weapons and items, each of which is unique and interesting in its own way. However, the same cannot be said for the many different spells that can be cast. Castlevania: Symphony of the Night is a legendary video game made by Konami that you should definitely play because it has a huge castle you can explore, unique skills you can get, and a long list of enemies you can beat. 2. Gwent: The Witcher arcade game. It can be downloaded on Android in a version that has been reworked to have a more even difficulty level. It is a game of strategy in which the player constructs their own decks in order to field an army that includes both combatants and support units. The different factions of cards, each of which has its own set of benefits and can also boost the power of its fellow cards in the faction, can completely change your strategy for a given match. This is because each card in a faction can boost the power of the other cards in the faction. The developers of the game have categorized the cards into these different factions for you. Gwent can be downloaded for free and played without incurring any costs, but additional card keys can be bought with real money if desired. You also have the option of purchasing new cards using the one-of-a-kind currency that you earn by completing tasks successfully. This is an option that is open to you. 1. Dead Cells. The name Dead Cells is brought up in conversation quite frequently in relation to roguelike Metroidvanias. This is due to the fact that Dead Cells is the game that typifies both the gameplay and the aesthetic of this particular subgenre to the greatest extent. The addition of support for controllers has made the controls more responsive and precise, while the touch controls are sufficient for completing the game's initial few levels. Even though you will die a lot while playing this game, you will still make steady progress as you finish runs and get new weapons. One of the game's most notable strengths is that its frame rate remains consistently high throughout. There is a substantial amount of content available, more than enough for the majority of players to keep themselves occupied for a period of at least 30 hours. As soon as the main mission is done, players will be able to download more content. If you enjoyed today's video, then feel free to smash the like button and subscribe to our channel.